This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now it's Tuesday, which means that, as has been my custom and practice for the past few weeks, or maybe longer in fact, it's going to be a top 5 video. You know the sort of thing. I've done my top 5 performances by this band or that artist, top 5 bucket list guitars. I've done 2 of those videos. But the other day, underneath one of those top 5 videos, I saw this comment.
Top 5 suggestion. 5 musicians from any era or style to form a supergroup. Drummer, bass, 2 guitars and singer.
And I thought, what a brilliant idea. So that's what I'm doing today, choosing my all-star fantasy supergroup. So let's get cracking with...
On drums.
Yeah, it has to be Cozy on drums. I'm afraid Mr. Powell... You know, this was a tricky one. Well, they all were, but this one was especially tricky because I felt like I should kind of have John Bonham in the drum seat, but I don't know. I'm just going with me heart here, not with possibly what is, the choice that is expected. I also did debate whether it should be Ian Pace, but truth be told, there's just something about Cozy's style of drumming that I absolutely adore. I think it goes back to the fact that when I was a young wee lad, that single that he had, Dance with the Devil, I absolutely loved that. And, even, before I kind of knew anything about playing music, before I'd even taken up the guitar, I could always kind of hear a track that Cozy had played on and think, that sounds like that guy who did Dance with the Devil. It just, for me, it was, his style of playing was just one of the most identifiable styles of playing that I could, kind of tune into even from an early age. And, just the roster of artists that he's worked with, obviously, Gary Moore he's worked with, he was part of Whitesnake for a while, the list goes on, and I just love Rainbow as well. I just love his drumming style, and he's just, my favourite drummer. That's why he's on the list. So let's move on to...
On bass?
Yes, now on bass. Now, no, I haven't put that slide in the wrong way around. You can see the text in the background is the right way around. This is a chap called Colin Hodgkinson, who there, you see, there are some people out there, he's a left-handed bass player, obviously. There are some people out there who are saying who, and then there are other people who might remember a jazz rock band called Backdoor. And think, okay, yes. If you don't know Colin Hodgkinson, he is well worth checking out. He is an absolute behemoth of the bass guitar. As I say, his own kind of project, if you like, was a jazz rock band called Backdoor, who are well worth checking out, even if even if the word jazz kind of puts you off a little bit. He is an astonishing player. He's capable of playing, an entire piece of music on the bass, basically, and it sounds like a full band. Quite often when he does an album, it will feature at least one kind of solo bass thing. I seem to remember hearing his version of San Francisco Bay Blues, where he's singing along with it as well. He's singing as well as playing this virtuoso bass stuff. And, you're hearing kind of bass drum, snare drum, guitar chords, guitar solo, very much like that, I can't remember his name, but that chap out of that 2-piece band, Royal Blood. It just seems, you look and you think, how is so much music coming out of just one guy? And it's effortless. I actually had the good fortune to see him live back in the late 80s. I think it was 88 or 89. There's a little village near to where I live called Stokesley, and in Stokesley there is a pub called the Station Inn, and it's just a little village pub and music venue, and he was there playing a gig. and he had a guitar player with him, German chap called Frank Dietz or something like that, I forget his name, and he was, a pretty tasty guitarist, but even me, as a guitar player, was spending more time looking at the guy with 4 strings than the guy with 6, so that says something about him. Go and check out Colin's playing. He is absolutely magnificent. So, let's move on to the next member of the lineup.
On guitar.
Well, there was never going to be any surprise about this, was that Gary was going to feature in this somehow or other. Yes, Mr. Moore, in fact. I won't blether on for too long about how much I love Gary's playing, but regular viewers to this channel will know that I really, really do love the playing of Gary Moore. I first got into his music back in the 80s with the Victims of the Future album, and then kind of backtracked into his period with Thin Lizzy. Absolutely fell in love with the Black Rose album, and then his solo work. So there's been a couple of dodgy ones. It has to be said. Albums like Run for Cover, weren't perhaps his strongest, moments. But Corridors of Power still got the Blues for Greenie. Just. On balance, his whole output for me is, just fantastic. Even his weaker moments are, would be a strong album from anybody else, and I just absolutely adore the way he plays the guitar, so that's why he's on that list. So let's have a look and see who's next.
Also on guitar.
Yes, Mr. Lee, Albert Lee. I was thinking, who am I going to get that's going to contrast with Gary as a guitar player? And, equally as virtuosic, but a completely different style. And it had to be Albert Lee. I actually met Albert once at, I think it was the Guitarist show. Guitarist magazine used to do like a little kind of mini NAMM style event. And this is going back to the early 90s. It was round about the time when Albert first kind of hooked up with Music Man guitars, long before he had that signature model that you can see in the picture there. And he was demonstrating on the Music Man stand, and he did in one of the kind of theatres that were on this university campus, I think, where it was being held, this event. He did like a bit of a gig with Hogan's Heroes. They were there as well, and then I met him in the bar later on and had a chat with him and had a beer with him, and what a nice chap, but what an astonishingly talented guitar player. And the other reason why he's in this lineup is because if you've ever listened to the Eric Clapton live album Just One Night, where I think it's a couple of concerts from a tour in Japan, Albert can sit down behind a piano and play some barnstorming honky-tonk piano as well. So you're kind of getting 2 for 1 if you've got Albert in the band. Fantastic musician and a really nice chap. So let's see who's going to complete the lineup.
On lead vocals.
Yep, it has to be Danny Bowes. And again, there's probably a few people out there scratching their head and saying, who's he? This is the vocalist, and there was a lot of competition for this slot. I mean, you could have gone with, Paul Rodgers, Robert Plant, Ian Gillan, the list goes on of all-time fantastic rock vocalists. But I thought I'd give Danny the job in this fantasy supergroup. He's the guitarist, he's the vocalist rather, with a fantastic British band who never made it to be a huge band. They're called Thunder. And yeah, you see some people going, oh, okay, yeah. Go and check out some Thunder stuff on YouTube or Spotify or wherever it is you get your music. A fantastic, foot-stomping, gutsy, good old-fashioned classic rock band in the best sense of the word. Go and check out a song like Love Walked In, or The Thrill of It All, or Dirty Love, or Backstreet Symphony. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and you will hear what an amazing set of pipes Danny has. I can't recommend him highly enough. And I just love his voice, and he's very much in the sort of Paul Rodgers school of singing. It's got that sort of bluesy kind of quality to it, but boy, has he got some power and some range, and it sounds effortless. He never seems to be straining for a note or anything, and that is why he's got the job in the band, basically. So there you go. My all-star fantasy supergroup. It's Cozy Powell on drums. It's Colin Hodgkinson on bass. It's Gary Moore on guitar. It's Albert Lee on guitar. And it's Danny Bowes from Thunder on lead vocals. So, as ever, let me know what your all-star fantasy supergroup would be. Just leave a comment down below, and if you can be bothered, a couple of lines about why each member of the band passed the audition in your mind. Why do they deserve the place in the band as opposed to somebody else? And that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you found the video reasonably entertaining. That is, after all, the point of me sitting here and blethering away for how long's it been now? Oh dear me, about 10 minutes. And if you found it entertaining, then please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget the live stream, Friday, 5 PM UK time. We talk about guitars, we talk about music, we drink beer. It's a fantastic way to kick off the week. And I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.